Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, today we're doing a side-by-side comparison on two entry-level tablets. That is the Kindle Fire HDX versus the Tab 3 Lite. Now, when it comes to these two tablets, these are really in their own right the best bang for your buck tablets. However, on this side we have Google content, where on this side we have Amazon content. And I have a feeling that's going to play out to one of the main differences between these two tablets in this comparison. So let's see, and which one really is the best one for you. Now the first thing we always take a look at is look and feel. When it comes to the Kindle, we do have overall, in my opinion, a better feel and premium style, where the material feels very well off and very easy to hold. That concave design really does feel good in the hand and it feels well. However, the main problem with this is that it is fingerprint prone like crazy. It definitely does not look clean for very long once owning it. So that is a big downside. On the Samsung route, they went a very, very inexpensive plastic. And I mean very, like I only feel this as a very cheap, inexpensive smartphone typically would have this kind of material. So very plasticky indeed. However, the funny thing is this does not have any fingerprints or scratches on it. So it's really hard to tell if you ever have any. So that's the ironic part. The front buttonless design on the front and the one home button on the Samsung. Overall, I would say the look and feel is going to go better with the Kindle, although again, I do think it's funny of the fingerprint difference. Now, when it comes to web browsing, the first thing we take a look at is the screen quality. So on the Kindle, we have a 7-inch 920 by 1200 inch screen, which gives you a 323 pixels per inch, which is great, perfect for reading all of your web browsing needs. However, on the Samsung, we only have a 7-inch screen that gives a 1024 by 600, which gives you sadly only 170 pixels per inch. It's not even over 200. For this reason, obviously, the Kindle will have the much better viewing for not only web browsing, but general reading. Now we're going to go to the stock browsers, where we're going to compare a heavy website and see how they both do. So let's take a look. Now again, this is a heavy website, so typically you will load much quicker on other pages, but we wanted to see for a heavy website which one's going to load quicker overall. And now both are finishing up, and it looks like the Kindle Fire loaded just a little bit quicker than the Samsung, which is still going. Hopefully the Samsung didn't drop the Wi-Fi. Typically, actually, the Samsung finishes quicker, but this time we got a difference here. I do test these overall a couple of times on it before live. And in terms of responsiveness, both very responsive. Both move very well. Let's do pinch to zoom. So Samsung does a much better pinch to zoom, and now double tap. Oh. That's why I was like, why isn't it doing double tap? So Samsung does a very quick double tap. Now let's see about this one. Yes. So overall, even though the Kindle did beat it this time, overall web browsing has been consistently better on the Samsung. In terms of moving and fluidity, it just definitely shows when you're moving around. It's such a delay on the Kindle, and that's just the Silk browser. The Silk browser, if there was third-party browsers, they were easy to get and not through another app market, I would say the Kindle would be better for just the sheer pixels difference. But overall, I have to give web browsing to the Samsung just because it's going to be a quicker, seamless experience. Now, when it comes to music, both speakers aren't ideally placed with both being on the back. The Kindle, however, has two stereo on the back, whereas the Samsung has the one next to the camera on the back, so only one speaker on that one. So let's hear their overall quality, first with the Kindle, then with the Samsung. Why don't you do this on the line? Don't expect help when it
Always did it big way before the hype. I'm just trying to live, let me roll the dice. Gotta be the boss, can I own my life? Ain't do this overnight. You women telling me this shit for show my type. My jewelry looking like I just went on a heist. Garage full of SUVs and motorbikes. But see, I always realized that it was more to back to this, I'm on rapid trips. Classy chicks that wanna have a kiss. When I was walking in the mailbox, etc. with a stack of chips to ship packages. Had a bucket list to get a platinum ring.
Okay, so let's make this clear. Neither has amazing speakers. Neither. However, overall, I would give this one to the Kindle Fire HDX simply for the fact that although neither has great quality, they just slightly sound better, although the Samsung has a little bit louder feature for it, but I like clarity more than anything, so I will give it to the Kindle Fire HDX. Now, when it comes to watching movies, first thing I want to note is just how different the color is. Between these two tablets, the Kindle Fire definitely has a better color, but let's see if it has a better quality.
Andrew, could you send me the revised? Andrew, could you send me the revised deck, please? Revised deck. I can do that. Your Samsung can do that. I can't do two things at once.
Can you move your laptop a little bit?
It's actually a tablet, Surface. Well, it does have a keyboard. And a battery dock.
And a mouse.
So overall, from seeing a couple of videos on these two, it really comes down to the Kindle just has the better looking screen by far. So overall, for watching a movie, I would say it's going to give you a better experience on the Kindle. However, I do like to note that it is going to be able to get content easier on the Samsung for personal videos. Now, the cameras are very interesting on these two devices, and that's simply because neither has a camera where the other one does. The Kindle has a front-facing camera, whereas the Samsung only has a rear-facing camera. The Kindle does not have a rear-facing camera, and the Samsung does not have a front-facing camera. So this is a big debate among my friends, because I have a lot of people, and even people that have emailed me, that swear that they need a rear camera on their tablet. For me, I tend to like front-face camera more. I see it as more practical. On the quality level of this front camera and this rear camera, the rear is better, as a 2 megapixel goes against a 1.3, but at the same time, you really have to note that between these two, although this is going to give you more details, it really is more practical for a front camera in my opinion. However, because I have so many people that email me saying which is the better rear camera on devices, I have to give this a draw for that purpose. If you want a front camera, you have the Kindle, and if you want a rear camera, you have the Samsung. Now, when it comes to gaming, the real challenge is here. Simply for the fact that this has a much better gaming experience with the games you have, and this one has a lot more games. So for that purpose, I'm going to have to call this one a draw, simply for the fact that if the games you want are available on the Amazon App Store, you will have a much better experience with them. However, you have a vast majority more games available to you on the Samsung Galaxy Tab. So for that reason, I will call this one a draw. Now, when it comes to battery life between these two, really it's a difference of using versus not using, I would say most of the time. The Samsung seems to have a better battery life in using the device in comparison to the Kindle. However, the Kindle has a dramatically better standby time when not using it. Overall, both tablets will give you roughly anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, so not ideal. For heavy users, you'll get as little as 5 hours as well. But typically good usage for most users, and you can typically get, for the most part, throughout a day if you're using lightly. It just depends on how you use it. But for that reason, we'll call the battery life a draw as well. Now, when it comes to the extras, the Samsung does have an edge. Where the Samsung has an edge is, first of all, of course, expandable memory with the micro SD. So you can add on another 64 gigs if available. And you do have the ability, of course, of split screen as well. So you can have two apps at the same time, which does come in handy, especially on a tablet, which just again gives you more. Not to mention the fact that one obvious extra is the softwares from Google. You do have apps that you do not have available on the Kindle without adding a third party software. And then finally we come to the last category of these two price point tablets, which is of course the price itself. On the Tab 3 Lite we have an 8 gig version for $149, again with expandable storage, whereas the Kindle Fire HDX gives you 16 gigs for right now $199. Now it is important to note that the normal prices are $229 and $159. So really, do you get the same amount for these two devices? Overall, the same basic functions that you want to do is available on the Samsung, so I will give this one the better bang for your buck. Even though it is 8 gigs less, you definitely can get a micro SD card for 16 gig micro SD card for much cheaper than $50. So for that reason, yes, it is the best bang for your buck in terms of price point. All right, let's tally them up and see who won. So when it comes to look and feel, we do give it to the Kindle Fire HDX, just going to give you a better look and feel overall. When it comes to web browsing, the Samsung Galaxy Tab 3 just gives you a better consistency of just usage, and it's going to be better overall for that purpose. Music and movies, entertainment purposes, you're going to want to go with the Kindle HDX. Just better sound quality as well as much better screen quality. Now we did have a couple of ties when it came to camera, gaming, and battery life. All three were tied. Camera really depends on if you want a front face or rear facing camera on your tablet. Gaming, you have the Samsung, which has more games, but you have the Kindle Fire, which will play the games better that it does have. Battery life is pretty decent on both, but nothing stupendous. Both giving you at least 6 hours of usage on average. Tab 3 Lite does come back with both extras and price point, giving you a micro SD card slot and a lower price point of normal being priced at $159 versus the $229 price point of the Kindle. So for that reason, when we tally them all up, we have a tie. Yes, it is a tie between these two devices. Really, it depends on what you want more so. More entertainment with the Kindle Fire HDX, better look and feel, and really good within its own ecosystem. However, if you just want a very inexpensive tablet, the Tab 3 Lite from Samsung definitely gives you great web browsing, lots of extras, and a lot for your money. So for the low price point tablet, it's your choice on which way you want to go. Hopefully you found this helpful. Please give a like, thumbs up if you did. Thank you for watching. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.